Many people live their lives begging for what already belongs to them, hoping the universe might someday drop blessings into their lap. But the truth is, the Creator never designed you to be a beggar. He designed you to be a ruler. The resources you need are not in the hands of chance. They are in the hands of law, divine law, and laws respond to authority, not desperation. When you know who you are, you stop requesting permission to prosper and start commanding the promises already written for you. Today, we are going to shift from waiting for wealth to walking in it. Because the moment you speak with rightful authority, heaven's economy must answer. Most people don't realize wealth has a language. And until you learn that language, you will keep speaking words that shut the very doors you are trying to open. You see, in the kingdom, resources respond to authority, not to desperation. They respond to confidence, not to fear. And they respond to the language of faith, not the language of lack. If you want to step into provision, you must start speaking the dialect of the kingdom. That means you stop saying, "I can't afford this," and start declaring, "I have everything I need." You stop saying, "I hope something will work out," and you start saying, "It is already done." The language you use is not just conversation, it is legislation. Every word you speak in faith is like a royal decree, sending a command into the invisible and pulling what you need into the visible. But here's the problem. Too many people are fluent in the language of poverty. They rehearse phrases like, "Things are getting worse," "It's too hard," "There's never enough." And without realizing it, those words are setting the boundaries for their lives. They have built a prison with their own speech, and then wonder why freedom never comes. In the kingdom, you don't beg for what already belongs to you, you claim it. You don't chase money. Money starts chasing you because you're speaking in alignment with the laws of the king. The moment you shift your words, you shift your world. Because language is the currency of faith, and faith is the currency of heaven. Think about it. When a king issues a decree, he doesn't beg his servants to carry it out. He doesn't say, "Please, if you feel like it, maybe bring me this or that." No, he speaks it once, and it is established. And you, as a child of the king, carry that same authority in your mouth. The question is, are you using it? Or are you wasting it on doubt, fear, and complaints? Your life is a reflection of your speech. If you keep talking about lack, you will keep living in lack. If you keep declaring abundance, you will begin to experience abundance. The language of the kingdom is rooted in truth, not in what you see, but in what has already been promised. And when your mouth agrees with that truth, the atmosphere around you starts to shift. So from this day forward, train your tongue. Every time you are tempted to speak worry, replace it with a word of faith. Every time you are tempted to voice the problem, speak the promise instead. Because once your speech aligns with the kingdom, the provision that was held back will start to flow. And when that happens, you won't just be speaking differently, you'll be living differently. But this is only the first step. Because once you learn the language, there's something even more powerful you must do next. There comes a point in your life when you must stop approaching God like a beggar and start standing before him like a son, like a daughter, like an heir. Too many people spend their entire lives asking, pleading, hoping as if their father is reluctant to bless them. But the truth is, he has already given you the right to everything you need. You're not waiting on him, he's waiting on you. When a child lives in a house, they don't knock on the kitchen door asking permission to drink water. They open the fridge because it's their home. They have access. Yet here we are, standing at the gates of the kingdom, knocking, begging, hoping the door will open when it's already been unlocked. You must understand, asking is for those who don't yet know their rights. But once you know who you are, once you understand the authority you carry, you stop asking and you start commanding. Commanding is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's stepping into your role as a representative of the King and speaking as he speaks. When you command, you are not convincing heaven to do something. You are enforcing what has already been written. You are declaring the will of the King into the earth. That's why you don't command timidly. You don't whisper it like a suggestion. You speak it like a law. Because in the spiritual realm, it is. Think about it when Jesus spoke to the storm. He didn't say, please, if you would maybe calm down a little. No. He said, peace, be still, and nature obeyed. When he spoke to sickness, he didn't negotiate with it. He commanded it to leave. That's the model of kingdom authority. Short, direct, unquestionable. And this is where so many get it wrong. They pray as if God is unaware of their needs. They fast and plead as if he is holding back blessings. But he has already authorized you to speak his will into being. When you walk into a room and declare provision, healing, or breakthrough, you're not asking for it. You're activating it. The difference is massive. Asking keeps you in a posture of waiting. Commanding moves you into a posture of receiving. Asking says, I hope it happens. Commanding says, it's already done. And the universe, the circumstances, the resources, they all align with the voice of one who knows their authority. So the next time lack stares you in the face, don't ask it to go. Tell it to go. When opportunities seem locked, don't beg for a key. Speak to the door and command it to open, because you're not a powerless beggar. You are a royal ambassador, enforcing the law of heaven in the earth. And once you begin to command, something even greater begins to happen. One of the greatest breakthroughs you can ever have is the realization that provision is not a favor. It is your legal right. When you belong to the kingdom, you are not a servant begging for crumbs. You are an heir with a claim to the table. And everything the king owns belongs to his children. You see, in the natural world, rights are protected by law. If you own property, you don't have to beg someone to let you into your own house. You have the keys. And if someone tries to keep you out, you can call the authorities because you have a legal right to be there. The same is true in the spiritual realm. The promises of God are your property. Healing, provision, peace, abundance, these are not random gifts handed out to a lucky few. They are your inheritance. The tragedy is many believers don't know what belongs to them. They approach God like strangers instead of heirs. They hope for blessings instead of claiming their rights. And because they don't know their legal standing, the enemy has no problem keeping them locked out. That's why understanding your covenant is so critical. A covenant is more than a promise. It is a legal, binding agreement between two parties. And when God made covenant with his people, he was not offering a suggestion. He was establishing a contract. He swore by his own name, his own integrity, that what he said he will do. And when you step into that covenant by faith, you step into a realm of guaranteed provision. But here's the key. In the kingdom, rights must be enforced. Just because you have a title deed doesn't mean the enemy won't try to squat on your land. That's why you must stand on the word, speak it with authority, and refuse to back down. You are not begging for help, you are exercising legal authority. When lack tries to creep into your home, you serve it an eviction notice based on the covenant. When fear tries to steal your peace, you remind it that peace is your legal possession. When sickness tries to take root, you declare the terms of the contract. By his stripes, I am healed. This is not wishful thinking. This is enforcing the law of the kingdom. And once you truly grasp this, you stop wondering if God will provide and you start expecting it. Because a legal right is not optional. It must be honored. And when heaven honors it, earth must obey. But understanding your legal right is only the foundation, because once you know it belongs to you, the next step is learning how to activate that authority in every situation. Faith is not silent, faith speaks. And when it speaks, it carries authority. It is not wishful thinking wrapped in pretty words. It is the voice of heaven expressed through human lips. The moment you speak in faith, you are not just hoping something will happen. You are issuing a command that creation must obey. From the very beginning, everything in existence responded to the spoken word. Light appeared because it was spoken. Seas formed boundaries because they were commanded. The earth was not shaped by thoughts alone. It was shaped by sound. And that pattern has never changed. The unseen still responds to what is spoken in faith. But here's the challenge. Many people speak from emotion, not from faith. They let fear dictate their words. They let frustration shape their speech. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Faith does not speak what it sees. Faith speaks what it knows. It calls things that are not as though they already are. Speaking in faith is not about pretending your problems don't exist. It's about declaring the solution with absolute confidence. It's about aligning your words with the covenant, even when your circumstances try to scream the opposite. When you speak healing, even while pain lingers, you're not denying reality. You're declaring a higher reality. Your words carry weight in the spiritual realm. Angels are dispatched at the command of God's word. Darkness retreats when truth is spoken. Obstacles crumble when faith is released through your mouth. That is why you must guard your speech. Every careless word has the power to either build or destroy. Faith-filled speech is deliberate. It is intentional. It is precise. When you speak, you are not just filling the air with noise. You are planting seeds in the soil of the unseen. And just as seeds take root before they are visible, your declarations begin to work long before you see the results. Remember, even the centurion in Scripture understood this principle. He told Jesus, "Just speak the word, and my servant will be healed." He recognized that authority travels on words. He knew that the right words, spoken from the right position, carry unstoppable power. So when you open your mouth, speak as one who knows the outcome. Speak with the confidence of one backed by heaven. Refuse to mix your faith with doubt in the same sentence. Speak it, believe it, and stand on it until it manifests. Because once you master the authority of speaking in faith, you are no longer at the mercy of your circumstances. You begin to shape them. You begin to pull what is unseen into the seen. And when you understand this, there's something else that will completely transform your relationship with wealth and resources. Wealth is not an accident. It is a covenant promise. And once you understand that, you stop treating prosperity as something unpredictable and start seeing it as part of your divine inheritance. You see, in the kingdom, wealth is not about greed, it is about assignment. It is about having the resources to fulfill the purpose you were born to accomplish. From the beginning, God established that his covenant people would be blessed, not just spiritually, but materially. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they didn't stumble into riches by luck. They were wealthy because of covenant. And that same covenant, sealed and confirmed, still stands today. It's not a promise to a few individuals in ancient history. It is a perpetual, unbreakable agreement between God and his people. But here's the problem. Many have been taught to feel guilty about wealth. They have been told that poverty is somehow more holy. Yet poverty was never God's idea. Lack was never part of the original design. The garden in the beginning was abundant. Rivers, gold, fruit, beauty, everything was more than enough. That's the atmosphere of the kingdom. And when you live in alignment with the covenant, that same abundance flows into your life. Wealth in the kingdom is not about hoarding, it's about stewarding. It's not about showing off. It's about showing the world the goodness of your King. When you understand that your prosperity is connected to your purpose, you begin to see it as a responsibility. The covenant says, I will bless you so that you will be a blessing. That means resources are attracted to assignment. And here's something powerful. Covenant wealth is protected wealth. It's not just what you gain, it's what you keep. The world's economy can rise and fall, but covenant economy is built on unshakable promises. Inflation can't cancel it. Recession can't erase it. No human system can override it. When you embrace wealth as a covenant promise, you stop chasing money and money starts following you. Opportunities find you. Doors open for you, and provision flows to you because you're in the flow of divine agreement. You're not living on random blessings. You're living on a guaranteed supply line from heaven to earth. But like all covenant rights, this promise must be claimed and enforced. It's not automatic. It's activated by faith, obedience, and the boldness to speak it into being. You must see yourself as a covenant heir. You must think, speak, and act like one. Because as long as you see yourself as a struggler, you'll never walk in the abundance that's already yours. Once this truth sinks deep into your heart, you will never again question whether wealth is for you. We'll simply ask how to position yourself to receive it. And that positioning is where the next revelation changes everything. There is an economy in heaven, and it does not operate like the economy of this world. The world's economy is driven by fear, scarcity, competition, and manipulation. Heaven's economy is built on faith, abundance, generosity, and divine order. If you want to live in supernatural provision, you must decide which system you are going to trust. Too many people try to live by both. They tithe one moment, then panic when the market shifts. They sow in faith, then speak words of fear when they read the news. But heaven's economy doesn't rise and fall based on human reports. It is anchored in eternal principles that never change. In heaven's system, giving is not loss, it is investment. Sowing is not subtraction, it is multiplication. The world says, hold on to as much as you can, or you might run out. But the kingdom says, release and more will be given to you. And this is not theory, it is law, divine law. When you align yourself with this system, you step into a flow where your source is not your salary, not your business, not even your skills. Your source is God Himself. And here's the beauty in heaven's economy. There is no recession. There is no shortage. There is no competition. What is yours, and no one can take it. What's assigned to you will find you, no matter where you are. The key is alignment, adjusting your thinking, your speaking, and your actions to operate by kingdom principles, not worldly fear. Think about it. When Peter needed tax money, he didn't run to the bank. Jesus sent him to a fish. That's heaven's economy. Provision coming from unexpected places, in supernatural ways, right on time. When the widow poured out her last jar of oil, it didn't run out until every vessel was filled. That's heaven's economy, resources multiplying in your hands as you use them for God's purpose. But here's where many miss it. Alignment requires trust. You can't live in two economies at once. You can't say you trust God, yet panic every time the stock market shakes. You can't claim to believe in supernatural provision, yet refuse to obey the principles that release it. Alignment means total reliance. It means operating under heaven's laws, even when earth's logic says it makes no sense. And once you lock into heaven's economic system, you stop chasing provision because provision starts chasing you. Opportunities find you. Ideas come to you. Favor opens doors for you. And it's not luck. It's the result of being positioned under an unshakable source. But alignment with heaven's economy is only part of the journey. Because once you are aligned, there is another step that will cause wealth to start moving toward you at a speed you've never seen before. There is a difference between knowing something belongs to you and actually declaring it. Many people have promises stored in their hearts, but they have never released them into the atmosphere with authority. And until you speak it, you have not activated it. In the kingdom, possession is voice activated. You can believe in abundance all you want, but if you keep your mouth shut, the blessing stays in potential form. You can know healing is yours, but if you never declare it, sickness will have no reason to leave. Declaration is not empty talk. It is the official release of a legal claim. It is you stepping into the courtroom of heaven and saying, "This is mine, and I will not be denied." Think about it. When Joshua was told that every place the sole of his foot would tread was given to him, he still had to step on it. The land was promised, but it had to be claimed. And in the same way, your provision may be promised. Your breakthrough may be promised, but it will not just walk into your life without your active participation. You must declare it. When you declare what belongs to you, you are drawing a line in the sand. You are telling every opposing force, you can't cross here, because this territory has been claimed, and the spiritual realm listens. Heaven moves at the sound of faith, and darkness retreats at the sound of truth. But here's the mistake so many make. They only declare when they feel like it. They speak abundance when things are going well, but the moment challenges come, they start speaking fear, doubt, and loss. That's like planting a seed one day and digging it up the next. Consistency is the power of declaration. The more you speak it, the deeper it roots and the sooner it manifests. Declarations must be specific. Don't just say, "I'm blessed." Say, "I walk in overflow. I have more than enough to fulfill my purpose. Wealth and resources are locating me now." Don't just say, "I'm healed." Say, "Every cell in my body is alive, restored, and functioning perfectly." You are not begging, you are commanding what is yours to come into manifestation. And remember, you're not trying to convince God. You're aligning yourself with Him. You're not making something happen. You're enforcing something that has already been decided in your favor. The moment you declare it, the process begins. And once you live a life of declaring what belongs to you, you will notice something powerful. What you declare consistently, you start to attract consistently. Doors open, resources appear, favor follows you everywhere you go. But there is still one more shift that will take you from living in provision to reigning in dominion. There comes a moment when you must make a decision to step out of the mindset of a beggar and step into the posture of a ruler. Beggars wait for permission, rulers give instructions. Beggars hope someone notices their need, rulers understand their authority and use it. And the truth is, you were never designed to live at the mercy of circumstances. You were created to reign over them. In the kingdom, reigning is not about arrogance. It is about responsibility. It is about understanding that you carry the authority of the King himself. You represent his will in the earth. You are an ambassador of heaven, not a citizen of poverty. That means you don't walk into situations wondering if you have power. You walk in knowing you carry it. Beggars are reactive. They wait for someone else to act, for someone else to give, for someone else to open a door. Rulers are proactive. They open doors, they create opportunities, they command resources. The shift from begging to reigning happens in your mind first, before it ever shows up in your bank account or your environment. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to survive, and you start seeing yourself as someone assigned to thrive. This is why your words matter. Beggars speak from need, rulers speak from ownership. Beggars say, "If only I could," rulers say, "This will be done." And the moment you change your language, your life will begin to reflect that change. because life will rise to meet the level of your declarations. But here's the truth. Reigning also means responsibility. You are accountable for how you steward what you've been given. Authority is not a license to be careless. It's a mandate to bring order, to multiply what's in your hands, and to lead others into the same freedom you've discovered. When you finally step into this identity, fear loses its grip. Scarcity stops controlling your decisions. You stop waiting for things to happen, and you start making things happen. And everything around you begins to respond differently. People, opportunities, even challenges. Because the world recognizes the voice of one who reigns. And now it's time to make that shift. Stop bowing to lack. Stop apologizing for your authority. Stand up. Speak up. Take your rightful place as a ruler in the kingdom. Walk into every situation with the confidence of one who knows. What I need is already mine. Because when you stop begging and start reigning, you don't just live differently, you think differently, you speak differently, you move differently. And the atmosphere around you will never be the same again. So today, I challenge you to change your position. Stop living like an outsider when you've been given the keys to the house. Stop waiting for permission when heaven has already said yes. You have been authorized. You have been equipped. You have been crowned. The power to rule is already in your hands. Now go and reign until every promise becomes your reality.